In this clip from RMDS Lab's webinar, Using Text for Marketing Insights, you'll hear from Dr. Richard Tang, Assistant Professor of Marketing at Loyola Marymount University. Dr. Tang explains how we can look at user-generated content with the help of NLP, or natural language processing, to identify consumer needs.
I'm very excited to share with you my learning of natural language processing. Okay, let's start. And feel free to chime in if you have any quick questions during the presentation. Okay, first question I have for you. Think about it. If you are a marketing manager, let's say for an oral care product company, where do you find ideas to improve your products? Or where can you hear the voice of consumers? Traditionally, we can run survey, we can do focus group, letting the users talking about their product use experience, share the ideas, and from which seasoned analyst, qualitative analyst can identify some ideas for product improvement, new product development, or find some unsatisfied consumer needs, right? And nowadays we have something called user-generated content. That is the content generated by the users. For instance, use the oral care product as an example. I just randomly find the two from Amazon this weekend, as you can tell from the time here. It's pretty recent. And these consumers, I covered his or her allies for the privacy. This consumer said that I'm not satisfied because I cannot tell any flavors in that mouthwash. This is one consumer needs. Consumer want the product to have some flavor so that we can sense the effectiveness of the product. Another consumer said that I want the product not burn my mouth. And it functions pretty good to eliminate the smell, the morning smell in the mouth. So this is just an example that from user-generated content, we can also identify some customer needs, right? And based on those insights, we may find some, we may pursue the new product development or product improvement, right? And the questions you might have is that, how effective that, or how efficient or effective those consumer needs generated from UGC comparing with those traditional methods like a focus group. And the newly published paper on marketing science, which is a top journal in our marketing and business area, claimed that they did an experiment, which is using the user-generated content for oral products on Amazon. And then they use natural language processing and machine learning to elicit unique customer needs and compare the needs generated from professional companies that conducted qualitative research like focus group. And they have two conclusions, major conclusions. First, the user-generated content is at least as valuable as the traditional source like the focus group survey, and probably be better. On the other hand, further, if you want to try to get some consumer insights from user-generated content, machine learning methods is the key, dramatically improve the efficiency and dramatically reduce the cost. This is just one example of using user-generated content for customer insights. Here is another example, which is a group of students and myself we did in the past summer for a capstone project. That is the Master of Business Analytics of LMU. We just leveraged the Yelp open dataset, which is full of consumer reviews of all kinds of retailing establishments, as you can tell here, and from different cities. In this case, we get the data from of Las Vegas. And then we just use the natural language processing to predict the sentiment of consumer reviews. And as a specific example, we just plot the sentiment of coffee shops to the map. And from the map, we think these insights can help the coffee owners to think about their store location choice. Think about it. Look at this legend. The lower the number, meaning that at that specific zip code area, the lower sentiment, basically satisfaction, consumers have regarding to the local coffee shops. Think about it. If you are a coffee shop owner, which area do you gonna choose for your for your new coffee shops? We would argue that it depends, right? In those green areas, you might face some competition from some coffee shops that satisfied with a lot of satisfied consumers. However, if your coffee shop is targeting at some high-end consumers with very fine tastes on coffee, then probably green area is your choice. On the other hand, if you have a different positioning, like you try to emphasize convenience, value of money, that kind of benefits, maybe you can choose those relatively red areas with a lot of unsatisfied consumers. But the key idea here is using user-generated content, we can shed light on the local market from a different perspective, right? Similarly, another capstone project, a leading advertising agency in the country asked us a question, that is, they want to understand longitudinally how the consumer's value focus changed. And they gave us several different values. For instance, health value, that is in consumers' decision-making, to which extent they emphasize health issues, whether the product is health, whether they contain some hazard material, those kind of things, health values. Similarly, another value is thrift. Nowadays, pandemic impose a lot of limits on our dispensable monies, right? Therefore, everybody try to get the best value from every penny they spend. Therefore, thrift is another concern the advertising company is caring about. On the other hand, other values include social status. Nowadays, the whole country is locked down. We stay at home. Whether consumers are gonna pay less attention to some conspicuous consumption or brand recognition in their consumption, that is the question the advertising company cares about. Why they cares about it? Because by understanding the dynamics of consumer value focus, it guides them to choose what topics to talk in their marketing communication, advertising, PR relation, public relationship. So understand those fundamental insights guide their content development. How we answer their question? We just leverage the Amazon customer review data, which is available here. That is a huge review data, covers the review from 1995 to 2015. So 20 years data across many different product categories. So we just use the NLP to measure the frequency of those different values mentioned in those in the product reviews, and then we just plot the dynamics. As we can tell from the first quarter of 2018, people get more and more concerned about health in their consumption. Similarly, thrift is increasing since the third quarter of 2019. And
if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to hear more like this. Also take a look at the link in the description. You can access Dr. Tang's full 55-minute talk, including applications of NLP and coding, by visiting our data science ecosystem, grmds.org. Use the link in the description to take advantage of a complimentary premium 1-month membership to access webinars, online courses, datasets, workflow collections, and much more.